Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. 各位嘉宾，女士们、先生们，大家早上好。I would like to thank the Chinese Wind Energy Association, the China Renewable Energy Industry Association, and the Global Wind Energy Council for providing me this opportunity to speak at the Global Offshore Wind Summit today here in Nanning. Because of the current COVID situation in Guangzhou, I am unfortunately not able to be present live this morning. That's why I have pre-recorded this video so I can be with you digitally. This fantastic conference gives a clear picture of the potential and the opportunities to be realized in offshore wind energy here in China. Since the construction of China's first demonstration project, the Donghai Bridge in 2010, China has made enormous progress in this area. In 2020, China ranked first in the world for the third consecutive year with 3 gigawatts of newly installed offshore wind capacity. We are currently in a decade of action for the Sustainable Development Goals, aiming, as a global community, to step up our efforts in renewable energy. China has set the goal of achieving carbon neutrality by 2060. The EU aims to achieve this by 2050. To be able to meet these goals, we need to actively promote the development of a diversified clean energy supply system. We will also need to be ambitious and innovative in expanding our offshore wind capacity. We can also bring positive news from the Netherlands. Last year, our country installed nearly 1.5 gigawatts of new offshore wind capacity, making us, after China, the second largest market for new capacity in 2020. Now you may ask how we achieved this in spite of the COVID-19 pandemic and the subsequent global economic recession. First, the Dutch government is very proactive and has developed a long-term roadmap by adding up to a total installed capacity from 11.5 gigawatts in 2030 to an impressive projected total 38 gigawatts in 2040. It is expected that offshore wind is to grow towards 72 gigawatts in 2050. All project data with respect to conditions of soil, wave heights, wind speed, impact of the environment, etc. are under responsibility of our government. On top of this, the government will ensure that developers will get an offshore grid connection to plug into. This enables the full transparency of the tender procedure and effectively brings the costs and the risks down. Of course, it's not only the government approach that is key to success. In the Netherlands, we have favorable geographic conditions for offshore wind, a very experienced offshore wind supply chain, very good harbors to service the offshore wind projects, and continuous technical innovation, which all add to the Dutch offshore wind sector's competitive position in the international export market. With regard to the supply chain, I want to note that Dutch companies have an impressive track record in the offshore wind business. Dutch companies have contributed to almost all offshore wind farms on the North Sea, and many of them are also very active in the Chinese market, such as Shell, TNO, Huisman, SPT Offshore, Trelleborg, Royal IHC, IHC IKIP, ICE Vibro, DDC, Mikol, We4C, Verschoor Trading and Sourcing, and so on. All these track records cannot be achieved without continuous technical innovation. Now allow me to briefly introduce 4 recent innovative projects to all of you. First of all, the largest European offshore wind to hydrogen project, called NortH2, is based in Groningen, the Netherlands. NortH2 aims to produce green hydrogen using electricity from about 4 gigawatts of offshore wind off the coast of the Netherlands by 2030 and more than 10 gigawatts by 2040. This project was launched in February 2020 by Shell, Groningen Seaports, GasUnie, and the province of Groningen. The NortH2 partners intend to jointly establish a system of offshore wind farms, electrolyzers, gas storage, and pipelines in order to convert offshore wind power into green hydrogen, store it, and transport it to industrial clusters in northwestern Europe. Another interesting project is the world's first offshore green hydrogen plant, called PosHYdon, which is an initiative of Next Step, the Dutch Association for Decommissioning and Reuse, and TNO, the Netherlands Organization for Applied Scientific Research, in close cooperation with the industry. Through this project, the wind energy can be used to generate hydrogen, which can then be transported onshore along with natural gas via existing pipelines for consumers in industry, the transport sector, and for Dutch homes. Thirdly, apart from wind to hydrogen, larger turbines lead another technological development trend. The Netherlands Enterprise Agency will give 4 million euros to support the project called Sustainable Installation of XXL Monopiles, with the participating companies investing 2 million euros. This 3-year project, led by the team of Professor Andrei Mitrikin of the Delft University of Technology, aims to have innovative technologies for the installation of large wind turbines commercially available within 5 years by testing multiple techniques to enable the installation and decommissioning of extra large monopoles in a sustainable, cost-effective, and societally and environmentally acceptable manner. Last but not least, TNO is building a huge wind turbine test facility, together with General Electric and LM Wind Power. The facility will consist of a full-scale wind turbine, where rotor blades of over 200 meters in diameter are to be tested. All these new developments have made the upscaling of offshore wind turbines feasible and attractive around the world. If you would like to know more about the innovation projects I just introduced, or seek cooperation with Dutch companies in this field, please feel free to contact our Consulate General here in Guangzhou. We are here to represent the interests of the Dutch offshore wind sector, to cooperate with our Chinese partners, to organize promotional events such as an offshore wind to hydrogen webinar on September the 8th, and to facilitate project cooperation. Ladies and gentlemen, dear guests, offshore wind is a priority area for our collaboration with China. Today's event will further deepen our mutual understanding and strengthen our cooperation. I wish you all a very inspiring and fruitful conference. Thank you very much.